Hey there folks, today I'm going to do an unboxing and quick test of the Milwaukee M12 hackzall reciprocating saw. I'm a big fan of Milwaukee M12 tools. Started collecting them a couple of years ago, and when bare tools go on sale, I usually try to pick up one here and there. So I picked up this one recently. Now I do have a hacksaw, but it's one of these. You may remember these from the good old days. 18-volt Dewalt. It still works, still got batteries. It's like a beast. However, sometimes it's a little heavy for what I want to do. So that's why I went and picked up this hackzall to do some smaller jobs and get into smaller areas when that big old Dewalt is a little clunky. So let's take a look at the box. Okay, the M12 hackzall, part number 2420-20. Well, battery and tool charger not included because it is a bare tool. 5-year warranty on this puppy. Let's look at the back. So it has some sort of counterbalance mechanism to reduce vibration, maximize durability, as well as red link technology, overload protection, optimized performance, and a fuel gauge. I guess I'll take a look at those now when I open up the box. Specs. We've got, stroke per minute, 0 to 3,000. Okay. Stroke length, 1/2 inch. So it's about that much. Length and weight, 11 inches, 2.5 pounds. That's minus battery. Quick lock blade clamp. Oh, yes, it has that, whatever that is. And an LED light. I love tools with the light because obviously when you're working in confined spaces, you need light. Okay, so that's it. Let's open up. I already cut the little piece of tape there. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the tool. We've got instructions. And we've got a little brochure, 300 plus solutions inside. I think I've got a ways to go yet, but anyway, there's always hope. So, operator's manual. We'll take a look at that in a minute. So this is the tool. We have some sort of locking mechanism there. Fuel gauge, you'll see that on most all M12 tools. Trigger mechanism. I think that that lock, yes, that lock is for the trigger. So that's probably there. So when you have the battery, pop in the battery. You have the battery in there. Okay. That will lock it, because if you're changing a hacksaw blade, you don't really want that vibrating accidentally, because it could do a little damage to your fingers. Okay, I'm just going to go grab a couple of blades and see how they fit. Let's just drop it on the scale. See how close it weighs to 2.2 pounds. 948 grams, which is about 2.2 pounds. Now, for giggles, let's check this puppy. Wow. 2.115 kilos, which is this many pounds. Wow, that's a lot. Before I get a couple of blades, I thought I'd take a look at the operator's manual. Okay, we have the description of all the parts in here. How to operate it. So it talks about selecting a blade. Obviously, you're going to be selecting the proper blade for the proper project. Oh, do not use blades less than 3.5 inches long, since they won't extend beyond the shoe through the stroke. Good to know. So it's always good to read these, because it does give you good information instead of just throwing it in a box. It talks about installing and removing the blades from the quick clamp. That the blade can be inserted with the teeth facing up or down. Tells you how to do it. some maintenance, removing broken blades. Instructions on that, as well as some diagrams. Speaks about the trigger lock. It talks about the fuel gauge. I'm not going to read all this for you guys. You can read it yourself. Oh yeah. Try to get those. Oh, that's, there we go. Plunge cutting. It says this hackzall is ideal for plunge cutting directly into surfaces that cannot be cut from an edge, such as walls or floors. Do not plunge cut in the metal. And it talks about plunge cutting. It talks about maintenance and accessories, as well as the limited warranty for USA and Canada. So I'm assuming you have to keep your receipt and all that. And then we get into other languages. Okay, I'm going to go get a couple of blades. I went and grabbed a selection of blades from my drawer over there, from a cabinet. Got this sort of heavy-duty, I guess, just construction, deconstruction blade. A couple of fine-tooth blades here. This one is a bimetal. And this one is actually less than 3.5 inches. That's like 3 inches. Now, I took the battery off just to see how they fit. So, when looking at the tool like this, you rotate this little collar here counterclockwise. And you drop in the blade. You let it go, it springs back into place, and it's held. Now, looking at this, I'm not sure why a blade less than 3.5 inches will not fit, because the stroke, it's at its maximum right here. It's back to the tool, so it's not going back any further than that. I'm going to take another look at the instructions and see if I read it right. So it does say right there, do not use blades less than 3.5 inches long, since they won't extend beyond the shoe throughout the stroke. Okay. Anyway, so I'm taking out that blade. So let's drop in this big blade. So again, counterclockwise, drop in a big blade. That's in there. So, ooh, that's a serious. That might be good for trimming branches. Anyway, let's pop in a blade. I'll go grab a piece of wood and see what this can do. This here is a piece of 1.5 by 1.5 spruce. It's a scrap left over from the camper that we just built from framing. Let's see what this blade can do. Now my only concern is that it's pretty dull, so it's probably going to vibrate this like crazy. But let's just take a quick peek. Okay, it's moving well, but the blade is not cutting very well, so it's probably dull. I'm just going to grab another blade. I have an equally long blade, but this one is got a little bit more tooth into it. Let's try it again. Put the lock off. Okay, well, besides the fact that this wood is vibrating, it is cutting. It does have a lot of power, this little saw. It's not slowing down at all, and it's quite easy to use. I find it's, very light, very comfortable holding it in this position. Let's just pop on the other battery, the larger battery, and because that will allow the saw to stand up on its end. It does weigh considerable bit more, but it does balance it out a little. And just to see how much a working tool weighs, now remember that Dewalt had no battery and no blade. So we're looking at 1.395 kilos, which is this many pounds. That's why this tool is going to be so cool, because it is very light. And there you have it, folks. The Milwaukee M12 2420-20 hackzall. This is going to be an interesting add to my M12 collection, and I'm sure that I'm going to get some good use out of it. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.